Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you've been here before, welcome. Welcome in if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. I am Lisa, and this is North Star Energy Healing. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, and we are just a few days, a little over a week away from Halloween, October 31st. So I was listening to a couple of readers this morning who were talking about Halloween this year, and to be really careful that, it's supposedly this Halloween will have a lot of dark energy around. So we need to be really careful about what we do and what we say and who we're with, and not messing around with any, dark magic type things. I doubt that anybody that watches this channel would be into that, but I'm going to say it because I heard it from a couple of other people. So Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays. I have no idea why. I didn't do a lot of trick-or-treating when I was young. I only remember a few years of doing that because, there were these weird things that happened on trick-or-treating where people were putting razor blades in apples and, and things like that. So trick-or-treating was stopped, and then you would have just a party at school where you'd get things, and then they would have you'd have parties in your classrooms, and then the school would have a party where you could come and dress up, and they'd give awards for costumes and things like that. So I didn't have a lot of that. When my son was little, we did trick-or-treating was back, so we did go trick-or-treating when he was little. I still have a lot of his Halloween costumes, believe it or not, and I have like scrapbooks full of Halloween pumpkin carving that we did as a family. I think the first picture is from 1993, or maybe it was 89. It's somewhere around there. So Halloween has always been really special. In my family, we did pumpkin carving every year. The whole family got together. We carved pumpkins. We roasted pumpkin seeds. We ate soup and just got together and had a good time. So it's always been, to me, associated with fun. I never really thought about why I was attracted to that holiday, and it could be because of my previous lives and what Halloween meant, centuries ago. It could just be that it was always in my family surrounded by fun, getting together with your friends, dressing up, picking out your costume, and all of that. And then, with the pumpkin carving, we're doing it this Sunday. There's not a lot of people doing it, but, I have pictures in my scrapbook of, my parents, my sisters, our kids, our kids' friends, all getting together doing that. So there have been some years where it's just been my husband and I. I was able to do it with my grandchildren a couple of Halloweens, and that's very special to me as well. But anyway, I sat here at my desk this morning. I was meditating, saying, what would you like me to get a message on? What do you want me to do today? And Halloween just kept kind of popping into my mind. So I said, okay, fine. I have a deck, a Halloween deck that's on loan to me from a good friend. So I have that here. And what I also did was I pulled up some websites about the history of Halloween. I used to actually do this at places where I worked. I would get this up and I would email it around to people because I felt like, nobody really knows, nobody talks about the origination of that. So Halloween, originally All Hallows Eve, and I think it originated either in Ireland or Scotland or somewhere over there. All Hallows Eve is October 31st. November 1st is All Saints' Day, and November 2nd is All Souls' Day. So there are like 3 days, and funny enough, I talked about this in the last video, my time of renewal, according to my birth chart and readers that I've had readings with, is October 31st, November 1st, and 2nd. So isn't that funny? The date that I was attracted to is my time of renewal. So All Souls Day, November 2nd, All Hallows Eve, and All Saints Day make up the All Hallow Tide, a triduum, a 3-day supposedly religious observance dedicated to the dead. While All Hallow Tide has been officially observed by the church since the 8th century, Halloween's history dates back further. So we go back to, there's a link with pre-Christian Celtic festival of Samhain or Samhain, however you pronounce that, which commemorates the end of summer. The annual autumn fete was celebrated from sunset to sunset, October 31st to November 1st, in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. It can be traced back over 2,000 years. So, according to Celtic folklore, the barrier between worlds of the living and dead was at its most permeable during this harvest holiday, which is probably why you have a lot of readers, mediums, psychics who do a lot of work on that day, because supposedly the veil is thin. That's how we describe it, right? So that facilitates communication with the departed. So also some beliefs are that spirits return to earth on that day. So the Celts would make offerings of food and channel their spiritual energy to tell each other's fortunes. Okay, so Samhain Festival also served a more functional purpose, preparing for the coming cold. During this time of festival, people would collect resources for winter, bring their animals in from pastures, etc., right? So once the Romans conquered the Celtic territory, the holidays became more of a hybrid thing. It merged with the Roman festival of Pomona, which I know nothing about. It's some sort of harvest-inspired feast, I guess similar to Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving is supposed to be the harvest, celebrating the harvest, bringing the food in, and having a big meal. So, the traditions underwent changes, of course. I mean, now we have mostly trick-or-treating is what Halloween is known for now. So All Saints' Day honored the saints, martyrs, and confessors who had crossed. October 31st was preparing for All Saints' Day. That's known as All Hallows' Eve, right? And then November 2nd became All Souls' Day. This was a day dedicated to baptized Catholics who have died. So, of course, the church had to get in there, right? Get something in there that was religious and connected to the church. So they're supposed to be somber days of reflection. But today, Halloween is known for playful traditions, trick-or-treating, putting on costumes, carving pumpkins, and things of the like. So now trick-or-treating is kids dressing up in costumes, but in older traditions, the Celts believe that during Samhain, the cat is out there running around doing something, knocking things over. Ghosts would disguise themselves as beggars to trick people into giving them food, money, and other coveted commodities. According to the superstition, rejecting a costume spirit's pleas would result in being cursed, promoting people to give away goodies during this festival. So trick-or-treating is also likely tied to souling. This is a British practice that emerged in the Middle Ages until the 1930s, inspired by the Mummers Place theatrical productions of folk tales. Souling was a ritual in which children and needy people dressed in costumes, knocking on doors, asking for, they said begging, but asking for food. So these soulers wanted an apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. That was a song that they sang. They were most interested, however, in getting soul cakes. This was a small round confection flavored by spices, decorated with raisins or currants, which were arranged in the design of a cross. Traditionally, these cakes would be blessed by priests and were distributed in honor of the dead. So that is kind of probably what led into the trick-or-treating part of it, right? Was that. But All Hallows Eve also has in tradition is known as warding off evil spirits, right? Also, a big thing about it is bonfires. Bonfires were originally made to sacrifice things to the dead, to keep them from doing things to you, right? So there's so many traditions about Halloween. let's see. The Celts thought that the presence of otherworldly spirits made it easier for druids or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future. So, sometimes that would happen. Druids would build huge sacred bonfires where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices. Also, during this time, people would not have a fire in their hearth on All Hallows Eve. Excuse me. So, everybody's home fires would be out, and these gigantic bonfire gatherings would happen on All Hallows Eve. After that, the next day, on November 1st, then they would relight their hearth fires and bring the warmth back into their homes, right? So that's kind of interesting. I mean, all of this is interesting, really. So All Saints' Day was to honor Christian martyrs, and then the Catholic feast of All Martyrs' Day was established in the Western Church. So, that's what happened there. And then I pulled up some websites. I don't have all this memorized, obviously. Bonfires, parades, and in America, okay, this was all going on in Ireland, Scotland, and over there for centuries. And then in America, it was extremely limited in the New England colonies because there were a lot of Puritans who settled New England. So in the southern colonies, like Maryland, it was super popular, All Hallows Eve and those types of celebrations. But one thing that came out in America was telling ghost stories on Halloween night. So, I mean, all of this is so interesting to me. It is also known as a time of rituals, like not such good things, I guess you'd say, happy things, as celebrating harvest and celebrating those that have passed and honoring them, but becoming like, oh, this is an evil time. Well, Halloween never started as any type of evil anything, right? It was just the veil was thin, and back in the day, thousands of years ago, seers or fortune tellers, things like that, were not looked on as evil, right? That was like, yes, we want to know, how is our harvest going to do next year? How is our family going to do? That was not looked on as an evil thing. So, and then, of course, in America, they capitalized on this with making all these wacky movies. Even naming Halloween, it's one of the most popular movies, I guess, of the time. But Halloween used to be thought of as one of the most favorable times for divination, for marriage, for health, also to cross over. So if you were to, die on Halloween, it was considered a good thing because it was you would be able to cross over quicker, right? It was also considered a day of luck. So, I mean, I would encourage any of you that are interested in this to look up some of these things yourselves because it's very, very interesting. I didn't look up what the history of the carving of jack-o'-lanterns was. I don't really know. Maybe I can do that real quick. I would love to know if any of you have any Halloween traditions that you do this time of year. So, okay, in the old Celtic festivals, people would carve faces into vegetables like turnips, and this was to ward off wandering spirits and protect themselves. So I guess that's what it started out as, carving faces into vegetables that they could set outside around their house to keep evil spirits away. So that's kind of funny to me. Anyway, so Halloween, steeped in tradition, right? A time of renewal is what I consider it. We're ending summer. We're in between summer and winter, right? Fall, Halloween. It is the time of harvest. This is the time that I really, because I'm in New England, root vegetables have always been a staple of surviving. So, apples, turnip, carrots, anything that grows under the ground, those root vegetables, I think even cabbage may be considered that. They last a long time. So in New England, you would have to have food like that could be kept over the winter to sustain you until your gardens would grow again. So yeah, radishes, all of those things, because you could store them in barrels full of leaves. That was quite a thing. Also, people would have root cellars. So inside their cabins, they would actually dig a hole that would have a cover, right? And it, because it would stay cold down there, you could store all of your root vegetables and your apples and things down in that root cellar. So this, and I love when fall time comes and it's time to, cook things in the crock pot and have boiled dinners and all those, because I love carrots and turnip and parsnips and all of those types of vegetables. So it's a good time. In the summertime, we have a lot more salads and berries and things like that. And incidentally, not that this has anything to do with Halloween, but when I was researching food and diets, I came across something really interesting, which was that we are supposed to eat the things that are native to where we live, that are in season. Our bodies were meant to eat the things that were in season. So in the summertime, we ate a lot of salads and berries, and what have you. And in the wintertime, we ate a lot of the root vegetables. And our biorhythms and our body's chemistry, they were better at, how do you say, not processing them, but digesting those foods and dispersing the energy based on what we were doing at that time of year. So in the wintertime, when we had all the wood to chop and the wood to haul and all of that, we needed those heartier meals, right? And in the summertime, when we didn't have that type of grueling work where we had to bundle up and trudge through snow, we were eating salads and berries and plants and things like that. I thought that was interesting. That nowadays, when we can get all foods all year round, according to some of my research, is why we have a lot of problems with weight, because we're not doing what our bodies were made to do, which was eat the foods in our territories where we live, that are in season at those times, right? So I don't know about Alaskans. I think their bodies can process blubber, seal and whale and all that stuff easier than we can. Like if I was to adapt a diet of the Inuit, I would probably quickly become extremely overweight because I didn't grow up there. My genes aren't used to that type of diet. Anyway, sorry, I don't know why I went on about that. Maybe somebody needed to hear it. But anywho, I'm using my Halloween deck now. Let me shuffle it again because nothing's coming out. And we're just going to see if we can get a message from Spirit about Halloween 2024. What can you tell us, Spirit? What do you have for us regarding Halloween 2024 for a general message? And if you don't like the subject, just don't watch the video. I think, by the way, that I only have 4 more subscribers to get to 400, where I'm going to do a reading giveaway plus a giveaway for the 400th subscriber. Once I get to 400, I will put up a video that says giveaway, comment below, and then however many comments I get, I will ask my husband to pick a number between 1 and however many comments, and that person will get a free reading. And if I can figure out the 400th subscriber, I will also give them a free reading. Wow, deck is pretty quiet. What's the weather like where you are? It's a little foggy today. It is going to burn off and be, again, close to 70. We've had that for 5 days now in Maine, which is totally unseasonably warm. Skeleton, strength. Yeah. Strength. That's a good card to get. Thank you, Spirit. I've been watching this series just for fun. I think it's called Resident Alien. Oh my God, it's hysterical. And yesterday, when my husband and I were watching an episode yesterday, it's old. It's like from 2021, 2022. It was Halloween time, I guess. I can't remember why, but the guy who's actually an alien who's taken on the body of a human, he's a doctor, and he has a skeleton in his office, and he's dressing it up, and he says, I think it's so funny how humans like to dress up their dead. And I was like, oh my gosh. Play with dead bodies or something like that, he said. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is funny. Oh, wow. I don't know why this deck is so quiet. Let me give it another shuffle. Maybe I'm talking too much. Not me. What else do you have for us from this Halloween deck? Skull of Darkness, blind spots. Skeleton and skull so far. I don't like scary movies at all. I think I might have watched the first Halloween movie, the first Freddy Krueger movie, and then I didn't watch any of that. I was like, oh, I can't watch this stuff. I don't know how people are into that kind of thing. I just cannot watch it. I just don't like gory, scary movies. I never have. I never have. Some I like. The Shining I can watch. I don't know why. Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining is so funny. That didn't really scare me. I don't know. But a lot of Halloween movies I just cannot. The Michael Myers, was that Halloween? I don't remember. Those are the two that I remember the most, is Halloween and what was it? Nightmare on Elm Street. Ugh, I don't even like the energy of that. I don't even like saying that, to be honest. Okay. I can tell you that I have been having very vivid dreams lately. Strange dreams. Nothing, you know, just weird things. Like, why would I dream about that? I don't know why. Wow, this deck is super quiet. Spirit, don't you have anything that you want to tell us or show us from this deck today about Halloween? Oh, they're saying we don't necessarily like the energy of Halloween either. Not what it's become. The origins of Halloween, yes, but not what it's become. Thank you. Yeah, I can understand that. Winter. The sacredness of pausing. Yeah. Okay. Now we've got 3. Anything else? Do you want a different deck? Oh my goodness. Cardinal. Okay, let's see what we have, Spirit. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, finger was getting cramped. All right, let's see what we have for a message around Halloween. Skeleton, skull, another skull, the underworld, winter, zombie, invisibility, and night song. Cardinal usually means message from someone who's crossed, right? So let me get the book. I'm not super familiar with this deck. Is this it? This is what the book looks like. Stacy DeMarco. What's my other? I have another deck by her, but I can't think of what it is right now. Ouch. Okay. Skeleton. Strength. You can see that. So our bones do help us stand up, right? They do give us strength. On the outside is flesh, on the inside is bone. There is strength in vulnerability. In power we have grown. Wow. There is incredible strength in showing vulnerability. It can often be the bravest course of action and most frightening. More often than not, it is a powerful catalyst for personal growth, even though we may not be able to perceive that at the time. Vulnerability. All right. Skull of Darkness. Blind spots. We may not wish to delve there, the shadows, the darkness, the unknown. Yet when we search, we reveal, and our power, it has grown. Wow. So, the beautiful and mysterious skull of darkness encourages us to look to the part of ourselves that normally remains hidden or as unseen as possible. Okay. We may not appreciate or like certain aspects of ourselves, and yet sometimes our greatest treasures lie within these areas. How many times have you heard of famous artists or people extremely successful in their fields being bullied for being so different? Yet it is their very differences from others that make them so powerful. Be different. Be vulnerable. Be different. Hang on just 1 second. I don't know why, but they're just telling me to write that down. Okay. And then the underworld. The underworld. 3 skulls right in a row. The underworld with a pomegranate, where all things pause and begin again. We were just talking about that time of October 31st to November 1st and 2nd, right? Another realm, shadow-filled, travel from death's bed, where we stop and transform within the realm of the dead. The idea of an underworld, a whole realm that we go to after we die, is a concept that crosses a huge variety of cultures and eras. The Sumerians, the Turkish, the Incas, the Greeks, through the Siberians, the Maori, and the Khmers, all had a distinct word for the underworld. What is different, though, is how these cultures treat this concept. Whether the underworld is seen as a place of rest and rejuvenation or horror and punishment. Yeah, so the Christians talked about hell, right? But the Egyptian underworld is one of judgment, peace, and renewal, right? In the Maori culture, it is an in-between place of waiting, wisdom, and transition. Many myths that mention the underworld often involve the concept of a place of waiting and of trials and eventual judgment. It can also be a place of joy and peace. Yeah, and I think the last reading I did, we were talking about being stuck and having to take a rest. Rest. This is funny to me because it looks like, when I looked in the camera and I'm looking at that, it looks like the skulls are actually dancing. Don't ask me why I'm saying that. But, so we have being vulnerable, being different, and rest and rejuvenation. Right? So far, that's what we have. And now we have the card of winter. That's like the leaf that I showed you guys that my husband gave me years ago, like 13, 14 years ago. Winter. The sacredness of pausing. Okay, so we have pausing, rest, and rejuvenation. And then right after that, we have the pausing card, which is winter. I like this so far. I do. Lightly I step, for the earth falls asleep. A lullaby to rest and pause, the soul's secrets to keep. That's a beautiful card, isn't it? Death is frightening even though, or perhaps because, it is inescapable. However, as we move into winter, we know it signals a literal and metaphysical death. In some parts of the planet, the extreme weather means snow and ice buries all life, and the ground lies fallow and still. We were just talking about how Halloween and harvest time is right before this. In winter, the earth slows down and there is less light and often more wet weather. Many plants die back, many animals are less active, and traditionally, it was a leaner, more difficult time for those who worked on the land for their living. We just talked about that. Winter often brought with it the end of a life cycle, a figurative or literal death. Yeah, I mean, it's the end of the cycle, from spring to summer to fall. Winter is the end of that cycle. Should the winter card appear to you, it's time to let what no longer serves you die away. Where it seems natural and right to let things that have been bothering you for some time die back. Take real action to change those things. Anything that is superfluous, extra, and burdensome, release it. Release it. Okay? Great. I love that message. So now rest, rejuvenate, and then release. So I'm writing this down because they probably want me to understand because I'm not super familiar with this deck, what this message is about. And then we have zombie. I don't like that card. Zombie. Ugh. Never watched The Walking Dead because I don't like that stuff. The dead arise, voices a mumbling. After our brains, our screams, they are tumbling. Oh, jeez. I almost swore there. Okay. Zombies have become quite the fashion recently, much like vampires. Turn on the TV and you can't escape the moaning and groaning of these, the living dead. And yes, they do seem to be after your brains. There are even public zombie walks where people dress up as zombies. Yeah. But zombies are not merely a fun icon of popular culture. Traditionally, they are mainly associated with the African and Haitian voodoo religion. Zombies are said to be dead bodies reanimated by incantations chanted. They are usually enlivened for a purpose. Okay, what is the message? Okay, I don't want to read about that. Should the zombie step unsteadily into your life, it's time to look at the concept of control. Okay, here we go. This is the message. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not your equals so that they are more easily manipulated and changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living in your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how to change that. Okay, so this card is all about control, either being controlled or controlling. All right, and how, you should get out of that. Okay, and the next one is invisibility. Oops. Invisibility. Authenticity. Right on the heels of not being controlled or being controlling is authenticity. Heart beating, we sense but do not see. They touch, we chill, they come unseen. The concept of invisibility is a double-edged sword. Whilst it is a powerful tool to be able to gain information or to assist whilst no one sees, individuals using it are privy to information that may not be meant for them, and it may be taken out of context or unethically. It is a power of manipulation and easily abused. The idea of hiding away and not being seen is also a big part of the dark side of this concept. We are all born to shine our light out into the world and to take our roles. Hiding our talents, not expressing our true selves, stealing others' ideas or work and being someone else rather than your authentic self are all aspects to consider should this card appear in your reading. Okay, we talk about this all the time on this channel. Being yourself, right? Being authentic. Not trying to emulate or copy or be like someone else, right? This has been coming out since last December when the dragons first came through. About being yourself, being authentic, being who you are, respecting and loving who you are. All of those themes have been coming out, right? Okay. Night Song is the red cardinal, which in some tradition, in my belief, when you see a red cardinal, that is someone who's crossed that's telling you that I'm here, we're here. And this is hidden talents. A ruby red bird singing in the darkness full of sound, like an unopened present, ribbons still bound. Should this beautiful but shy bird sing to you by appearing during your divination, know that you must unwrap the present of yourself. Look, some of the gifts within you remain unopened. The time has come to step into your true potential and claim all possibilities for yourself. There is no more time to waste, no more excuses. Again, stepping into your own power and being who you are, right? No more time to hide it. Be authentic, step out, and be who you are. Okay, so we started off with the card of the skeleton, which was being vulnerable, right? Then we have the skull of darkness, which is be different. It's okay to be different and be yourself. Then we had the card of the underworld, rest and rejuvenate. Get ready to let your true self out. Get ready to dispel all the fears of being your authentic self, right? And then we have winter. This is release, releasing what no longer serves you, releasing the mask that you put on. How funny that they would give me that word. Releasing the mask of who you want people to think you are and becoming the person who you truly are, right? And then, are you being controlled by beliefs? Spirit is giving me, it's like you are presenting yourself the way that you think the world, your friends, your family, your parents, your siblings will accept you. And you need to let go of that and be who you are. Own it, right? Because you're just going to have to do the lesson over and over and over again if you don't become your authentic self, right? And the other part of this card was, are you trying to control other people into being what you want them to be instead of letting them be who they are? So there are two messages here with the zombie card, right? Don't hide your true authentic self and try to control it and tamp it down. By the same token, don't try to control another person and make them be who you think they should be. Great. Thank you, Spirit. And then we roll right into the Be Authentic card. I mean, they couldn't have said it better, right? Invisibility. Don't hide who you are. I mean, this theme is throughout this. Don't hide who you are. Shine your light. That's why you're here, right? And the night song, again, was Be Who You Are. I can't believe that. Thank you, Spirit, so much. It took a while for the cards to come out, but we really have a theme here of being authentic, right? First, we have to be vulnerable about that, right? Sometimes I have trepidation about telling people that I'm a reader. Like my husband just will tell anyone. Oh yeah, my wife, she reads tarot cards and this and that. And I'm like, oh honey, why did you tell him that? So I have the same problem, right? I'm not like out there loud and proud announcing to everyone that I do this because I'm afraid of being judged, right? So it's really hard, being vulnerable, right? Be vulnerable, be different. Rest and rejuvenate and get ready to come out of your shell. Let go of all those old fears, right? Stop controlling and tamping down who you are and stop being controlled by other people, right? Also, don't try to control others, but don't let others control you, right? Be you. You won't regret it. You won't get on the other side with all of our eventual deaths and say, oh, I should have hidden who I was. Absolutely not. You may get there and say, I should have shined brighter as who I was, right? Being authentic and being who you are. I couldn't ask for a better message, right? We started this out, talking about Halloween, but it was probably because my guides wanted to lead me to this exact message. And when I thought about doing a reading about Halloween and they led me to that deck, they knew that they could get this message out. What more could I ask for? What more could I ask for? I love them. They're so good to me. So being authentic, right? It started out being a Halloween message, but this time could be the time where you say to yourself, Halloween is going to mark the time that I let go of all those old things, that I renew and rejuvenate into who I really am, into who I want to be, into who I was born to be, who I feel I am meant to be, right? Gosh, I love how my guides they're so good. I had no idea what was going to happen or what was going to come out, but this has probably been one of the most easy readings to grasp as far as how the messages flowed that I've had in a long time. Seriously. Okay. Let's see. All right, I have Earth Magic by Stephen D. Farmer. We're going to see what oracle card may want to come out here for this Halloween message. Well, it's not really about, I mean, it was about Halloween in the beginning, but I really feel like I was led to this deck to get that message about being authentic. I really do. I just really feel like that was the thing. And maybe that's why they pointed out that I was seeing skeletons up and down, you know, playful. Like the skeletons look playful because of where they're placed, right? Okay, what from this deck? Man, we've gotten 40 minutes already. I have a meeting at work today that I'm not looking forward to, so I have to go in a half hour early. Yuck. Would rather be here doing this. And hopefully I'll get to 400 subscribers and maybe grow a lot from there so that I can do this a lot more for you guys. I just love it so much. It's always a surprise to me what comes out. So remember, like when I'm doing these readings, no matter what they're on, it's also awe-inspiring for me. It lifts my vibration, lifts my frequency when I'm doing this, because I'm getting the message right along with you. Of course, you're seeing it after. It probably doesn't seem like that, but that's what happens when I'm doing this. And I don't edit my videos. The most I will do maybe is pause it if my phone rings, but I record it and put it up just as it was. I trust my guides that whatever I was supposed to say, I said, and that I don't need to worry about editing it or changing it or adding things. Oh my gosh, wow, the fire of autumn. Look at that. Fire, passion, autumnal equinox, autumn equinox, I'll say, release. Release. We have that release in the winter card. Now we have it again in the autumn equinox. Fire, passion. Let your passions out, right? So that bottom row is red. That's so cool. There are no mistakes. Oh, I love my guides. I love my guides. Okay, give me just a second. Just in case there are other messages for fire and autumn equinox. Fire is a page 62. That's an 8. That's mastery, infinity. And then, that's weird. And then the, autumnal equinox. I hate how they wrote, it's hard for me to say, is a 20. That's 2. That's choice. Choice and balance. Oh my gosh. Okay, 62 and 2. 62. Fire. Passion. I love this. What are your passions? What turns you on? What ignites that inner flame, that creative spark? When you feel devoid of passion, consider what is missing in your life. It is most likely an absence of fire in your belly, something that makes your heart beat faster and quickens your breathing. Passion is not something that comes from outside of you, although some events and circumstances can trigger it. It is an intensity of feeling, whether quietly experienced or enthusiastically expressed. Passion can simply be a strong feeling, or the sensation itself can be so powerful that it motivates you to act. This is too often associated exclusively with sexuality, which is certainly one way of experiencing it, yet it limits its meaning and demeans the broader possibilities of passion. Open yourself to the truth of what you are passionate about and find a means to express it. Goes right along with being authentic, right? Finding your fire. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. And then, page 20. Autumn equinox. I'm just going to say it like that, folks, because I can't say it the way they have it. Recently, I've been posting pictures of the fall leaves around my area. Release. Now is the time to let anything in your life fall away that is no longer useful or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Who you are. There we go again. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest. Remember? Where was that? Rest and rejuvenation, right here. Da, 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 da. While at the same time making preparations for the winter season. What did we say? We said that Halloween, All Hallows Eve, all this has to do with preparing for winter. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Gosh, I honor and respect and love my guides so much. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. What do you need to release? Meaning physical and metaphysical. What do you need to release? Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose and are no longer viable, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of interest and passion. Yes, my outside job certainly has. With release comes a sense of being much lighter, just like the trees that openly bear their nakedness once their leaves have departed, and give room for whatever new life is ready to birth, following a period of quiet gestation. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else will take its place. Oh my goodness. I love this reading, guys. I hope you do too. I mean, wow. Oh. Halloween, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. Let's get right with our souls. Let's get right with our souls, right? It sounds like that may be the title of the video. Of course, you already know. I don't because I'm just recording it. But it sounds like Halloween, Get Right with Your Soul may be the title. I'll have to see. I just love how this brightness of the fire and reds and the leaf, all this kind of sums it up. Releasing it, being who you are, finding your passion, right? Oh my gosh. Don't hide anymore. Don't hide your talents. Don't hide your true selves anymore. Get out there. Shine. Do it. You know, I was told that I would be a tarot reader for years and years and years, and I laughed and laughed and laughed. I never believed it. I just kept saying, I just don't know. And then when I finally found a deck that I connected with and I started doing readings just for myself for months, and I finally took the leap to get this channel on, it was a big feeling of wow. It was like an opening up for me, right? Now, yeah, I don't have thousands of followers, but I do believe that I am doing what my guides have led me to do. I don't believe this is my sole and only purpose, but I do believe that this is one of them. I really do. I believe that one of my purposes is to bring messages to people that can uplift them, help them find their own path, and help them to understand how to listen to their intuition. I really, really feel strongly that that is one of my purposes here, is to help people. Like for me, it took years and years and years, like 20 years before I was really headed toward, and even longer before I actually did this, right? Because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe it. So, yeah. Okay, frog prosperity. Let go of the past. There it is again, guys. Embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. Yeah, when we are authentic, when we are our true selves, we can get that. Prosperity doesn't only mean money, right? I consider part of my prosperity is my channel growing. I'm not making money from it, but that helps my soul to prosper. So don't think of prosperity as only money, right? Think of prosperity. You could have a beautiful flower garden and that makes you feel prosperous. The flowers are prospering. I don't know. They just gave me that prosperity means more than money. Loon, intuitive. One of my favorite birds, most beautiful birds, right? Listen to the song in your soul. What were we just saying? What were we saying through this whole thing? Spirit, thank you. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Yes, rest and rejuvenate before you burst out and shine forth. Recognize that you are unique. What did we say earlier? What was that? Be different, right? Be vulnerable, be different, be who you are. Sorry, I'm all excited about how Spirit ties us in. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. Yes, you are, my friends. I love you. I love each and every one of you. And I send my love and my good vibrations, my green ribbons of love out every time I do this. I am sending you my love, my upliftment, my joy, my kindness, whatever I can send to you. My friends, I hope that you have enjoyed this reading. I truly hope that you got something out of it. I hope that I'll probably be on here again before Halloween, but I hope that you have a great Halloween, All Saints, All Souls 3-day celebration. I would love it if you tell me what some of your Halloween traditions are. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for liking, for subscribing, for sharing. 4 more to go, and then we will be able to do some free readings. Peace and kindness every single day. I love you all.